Dunno, mate.
Dunno.
Tell us about the game. Dunno, mate. Dunno. What we expect from 2019. 2019 should be an awesome year for gaming.
Big one.
It's teed up perfectly. There's so many games coming out, not only in the early part of the year, but throughout the year.
For the whole year.
Yeah. Usually, you only get the good games, AAA games coming out at the end of the year. However, this year's different. We're getting so many new games, awesome games, at the beginning of the year. Yeah. So they've not backloaded the
It's not just holiday season and Christmas season all year.
It's Christmas all year.
Yeah.
Essentially. So the first one that I'm looking forward to is called Metro Exodus. And this is a game which has been brought forward in release date. It was originally scheduled for release on the 22nd of February, but I was told via an email from the PR guy that the game has gone gold, which is almost 2 months before it's due to release. So they're bringing the release date forward 1 whole week, which is probably good because Anthem was due for release on the 22nd. Yeah. And there was originally Days Gone on that day too, but that moved out of that anyway. Back. However, 15th of February now is Metro Exodus, made by 4A Games. It's the third in the series. Metro Last Light, Metro 2033. Coming to all platforms, and it's a first-person single-player game, semi-open world, really immersive and very detailed world. It's well known for its characters and its gritty world. Got my hands on it, very highly anticipating this game. I just can't wait for it. It's, again, another single-player game, another game that doesn't try to go live service, game as a service.
None of microtransactions.
No microtransactions, a full feature complete. The fact that it's ready now already is a good sign that it will be.
Yeah, bringing it up early you don't hear often.
Yeah,
you hear delays all the time, but bringing it up early, it's not always a good thing because there's a lot of reasons, but this speaks to me like we're confident.
It indicates that they had enough time to begin with, that they're not put under pressure to finish it. The fact that they've finished it and it's gone gold, it's like, we had enough time, we've done it, we're finished, so let's just...
We might as well get it out sooner.
So the next one I'm anticipating is Days Gone, the Sony exclusive, made by Sony Bend Studios. That is launching on the PS4 on the 26th of April now. That was pushed back from what was originally the 22nd of February.
When's your birthday?
22nd of February.
What year?
Every year.
Get out.
Hefty delay.
Yeah, it's a couple of months, but I think from the gameplay that we got this year of that, which is the whole first hour was revealed, I think Game Informer showed off the first hour. It was a bit rough around the edges, let's say that. It's an open world game. It's based around this biker called Deacon St. John, who you take the role as.
And he's played by the same guy who did the main character in Force Unleashed. He plays Starkiller, Darth Vader's apprentice. Voice capture and facial capture.
Yeah, the Last of Us type of world, but you're a Sons of Anarchy character. You're a biker.
Yeah, you're like an outlaw.
You're a biker outlaw type of guy, and
that's what's got me hooked about this.
Yeah, it's kind of a unique take on this zombie apocalypse thing. It's an open world game, which, give or take, I'll take it or leave it, I guess. As long as they don't throw in too many tropes, go here, do that,
climbing towers and shit.
Yeah, hopefully the gameplay is diverse. I know there's stealth in it. The stealth is a big part of it, as well as fixing up your motorbike, and part of your progression is keeping your motorbike in working order and things like that.
One of the main things they're really, really pushing with this one is having like so many zombies on screen. Sorry, they don't call them zombies this time. They call them freakers. Yeah, because they're not technically dead. I think that's their definition of them. They're
like mutant things.
Yeah, and there's like different types of them and shit.
Freakers. And the freakers are undead. The freakers are alive.
But yeah, they're trying really hard to get as many zombies on screen at once. There's just this fucking wall of them coming at you. And that looks really cool if they can do it right and it doesn't get repetitive, because a lot of what the gameplay is that we've seen is lots of that.
Yeah, one of the very earliest trailers was where you were in this lumberyard and you were getting chased by this whole horde. Yeah. And you were sneaking through, getting through like narrow areas like a window or a door or something, and then using the environment, like shooting some logs and letting them roll on top of it, and just using the environment to get away from and escape. And so often you turn and there's a whole wave of zombies coming at you, and just so many on the screen at once coming at you. It was like, oh my god, holy shit, what is this? This is exciting.
They ended the trailer really well because he's on like a crane or something and he's shooting them and they just keep coming, and it cuts.
It's funny because the way that they go down, because they're not traditional zombies, you can shoot them in the leg and they'll go down.
Yeah, there doesn't have to be headshots.
Yeah, so you can just plow these bullets and they just go down and they just keep coming over the top.
It really reminds me of World War Z.
Still a little bit reserved on how excited I am for that because the gameplay didn't look too hot, but we'll see how it goes. I like the world, and that draws
having
me in
a bike seems awesome.
What are you looking forward to, Henry?
One, looking forward to, perhaps is the wrong word, I was originally, but it's waned, is Devil May Cry 5. Because when it it was revealed, I was like, yes, this is exactly the Devil May Cry I want. Sequel to Devil May Cry 4. Proper sequel. Dante's back. Nero's in it as well. There's a new guy who looks okay, I guess, but it looks cool. Graphics are amazing. It's got the same engine as Resident Evil 7, which looks stunning.
Yeah.
Awesome. Then there's the fucking microtransactions thing because, oh yeah, it's made by Capcom, and of course it is. You can pay real money to get extra XP to spend on your upgrades.
Oh shit. Sorry.
Well, yeah. So,
sorry, dude. That type of thing will turn me off completely. If I was undecided about a game, I learned that this isn't a game. I just not bothered anymore.
Exactly. It's such a shame because it's a game I was well up for, and it's just fucked it. And it might not be the biggest thing in the fucking world because blah blah. The problem is that if they're there, more than likely that they're going to make it grindy
to incentivize
you to spend your real money to get your extra XP. And if they actually wanted you to be able to have this XP like buff, toggle it for free as a button in your menu. It's like, oh, you want to get through things faster, toggle it on. Or difficulty modes. The way you make things easier or more difficult is by having difficulty modes.
Yeah.
And Devil May Cry is known for having lots of different difficulty modes.
If it is a fact that this game was too expensive to make, that charging however much they're going to charge for it isn't enough, raise the price $5, $10, whatever you need to make it profitable. Don't add this shit in my games.
Exactly. I would much more willingly spend 50 to 60 quid on a clean game.
That might be controversial for a lot of people, saying, oh, they're too expensive, whatever, I'll rather do microtransactions. But hey, you're entitled to your opinion, but mine is just give me a clean game and we'll pay more for it, and I'm very happy with that.
Certainly not one I'm getting like day one. Definitely a wait for review type deal, and depending on how bad the situation is, I think I will get it eventually, no matter what, because it's a series I love and I want to play it, but not for full price if the microtransactions are fucked, and over time it will depreciate and be cheaper.
Well, hopefully, if there is so much bullshit in this game, people will highlight it on YouTube, we'll do what we do and sing how much shit is in this game. People get upset, people mobilize, developers, publishers learn that this shit, and like what happened with Shadow of War, they removed them all together. Them all out. And they took out, in that case, obviously it was the loot boxes, but I think the next push is microtransactions in single player games like this. I don't think they need to be there, and I think it's complete greed. That's all it is.
Get fucking rid.
Get fucking fucked. Well, another one we don't know when it's going to come out, but it's very highly anticipated, The Last of Us Part 2. Now, it's probably a safe bet that it's going to be towards the end of the year, towards the beginning of the year after. We don't know for sure, but it's got to be within 2 years out. I think it's one of those games where they're not going to have a set release date until they're actually sure, until they're about 3 months out, because you never know. When you're squashing bugs and stuff for games, you know then how long it's going to take to fix it all up and get it in a release state, because it's Sony after all, and they have to release it in a playable state. They're not ones to be fixing games after they release, that's for sure. So I don't know, it's still up in the air. Last of Us obviously was too early for this year, but 2019, is it too early again? Last of Us Part 2? I don't know. I'm hoping. I don't care right now because there's so many games coming out next year. If it doesn't come out next year, then that's fine. That means the game's going to be better when it comes out because they're taking more time about it.
I'm fully on board with whatever they do with Last of Us 2. It's going to be great.
Just leave them to it. Jedi Fallen Order is scheduled to come holiday of 19. Tell us everything we know about Jedi Fallen Order, Henry. There we go. Let's move on to the literally know nothing about this game.
That's even worse than the fucking Elder Scrolls 6 announcement, because this announcement was the guy in the
Vince
crowd.
Sampella, right?
Yeah, in the crowd of E3, and one of the presenters comes up, you're going to tell us about this new game? And he's just there. It's like, we're doing a game.
It was worse than that. It's worse than that, right? Because it's like Star Wars games are so few and far between, and people are so excited for this franchise, and Star Wars is
especially
one of the biggest entertainment
so
franchises ever, right? People are just gagging for new Star Wars games. And then EA at E3 or whatever they were, like pre-E3, Vince Sampella just sat in the crowd just like, right, we've got Vince, are you going to tell us about a new Star Wars? This was the first time we'd ever heard of this new Star Wars game, and it was like, tell us about Star Wars. Yeah, well, it's called Jedi Fallen Order, and it's coming out next year. And that was it. And I was like, what? There's no trailer? There's no more information? That's all we know? Is it a single player? Is it a multiplayer game?
No.
What's the monetization like? We don't know.
No fucking logo or anything like that?
All.
Don't announce it if you haven't got anything, or just be like, we're working on something.
Yeah,
look forward to the future.
Just give us a logo or something. It's going to come out a year and a half since they announced it, so they must have some sort of artwork by now.
You could just have the excellent Star Wars score, John Williams' brilliant score. Exactly, just like big crescendo, and then Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order, and then maybe a lightsaber or something.
Anything.
and then you're done.
That's it. That's all it needs to be. What we do know is that it's made by Respawn, who made the Titanfall series, right?
Yeah,
They've
I like
moved on
Titanfall.
from the Titanfall. Titanfall 2 was critically acclaimed, although commercially unsuccessful, because it came out at the wrong time of year. It was squeezing between COD and Battlefield or something.
Yeah.
So it was a type of game that appealed to so many people that were playing other games at the time. So Respawn are a very reputable development team. I don't know, is it single player? Is it multiplayer?
Well,
it's probably multiplayer. It's probably games as a service type thing. It's probably, I don't know.
An inference you can make in terms of gameplay is if it's called Jedi, presumably that's going to be lightsabers as opposed to blasters, so it's probably not a first-person shoot. It might be first-person action with your lightsaber. And Fallen Order sounds like it's kind of a darker story about the Jedi falling apart or something. Don't know when it's set, don't know where it's set, don't know who's in it, don't know anything other than that it's called Jedi Fallen Order and Respawn are making it. Hell, it'll probably get cancelled next week.
Yeah. Don't know, mate.
Don't know.
Tell us about the game. Don't know, mate. Even Vince Sampella didn't know much.
He doesn't know. He probably
don't know,
did.
mate. What's that game you're making? Don't know, mate. He don't know, mate.
Oh, so it's Jedi Fallen Order.
Jedi, what are we calling it?
What's a Jedi?
Don't know.
Death Stranding. Woo! Again, still not completely concrete that it is coming out next year, but there was the rumor, which we reported on, that it was going to be released in June because of Walmart Canada's thing. Again, not confirmed. It's a leak, but they haven't taken it down. It could just be a placeholder, but that's certainly possible. And recently, Norman Reedus said, not necessarily any evidence or anything like that, but he speculates that the game will be out early January, February, March kind of time next year, which is very, very, very soon.
Yeah.
And even if it's not then, if it's mid, that's still no time at all, really. So some Death Stranding stuff's definitely imminent.
It was weird because they were expecting Hideo Kojima to be at the Game Awards this year. Then he didn't appear. And it's like, what the fuck's going on?
We know very little about this game, and whatever we do know, we still don't
know about.
Yeah, we still don't know it. There was some tweets from a recently appointed marketing or communications person, new director of that with Kojima Productions, who are obviously making the game. They said day 3 working with Kojima Productions and Death Stranding, blah 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 blah. This game is not what I thought it was at all, but like excited, like positive, and that's brilliant because I already know nothing, but everything I do know is about to be fucking reworked and reshaped. And this game, man, even if it's shit, I love it for what it is, and it's a massive experiment, and I really like that. It's Kojima's brain on overdrive, and that man is 1 part genius and 3 parts fucking insane.
Yeah, it's a nice concoction of ingredients, that is. So we still don't know so much about it other than you're a UPS driver in the future when there's like rain melts your skin or whatever. That's pretty much it, right? That's a game synopsis sorted for you right there.
That's the blurb. We don't know all that much about this one.
Right.
We've had like 2 trailers and then Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, wow.
This looks
good, right?
Brilliant.
Another Sony exclusive.
By Sucker Punch, I believe, who are the folks who did Infamous, which is a wildly different game to what this is. Because Infamous, it's kind of big, it's loud, sci-fi, superhero explosions and shit. This one looks much, not necessarily slower, but more considered. Because the gameplay we have seen, it's not like crazy combos and katana martial arts action. He draws his sword, he waits for them. They swing, he counters it, and then kills them. So it's much more considered and deliberate and strategic, hopefully. Looks like there's loads of stealth in it, but you don't have to. They're very much saying it's do your stealth thing or do your loud thing or do a bit of both.
Do you want to do?
Big open world action adventure thing. I don't think it's an RPG necessarily, but it's probably got like a few RPG elements.
Yeah. What even does RPG elements mean these days? It means fuck all. You search for RPG game on like the Nintendo Switch store or the Steam store or whatever, and every single game ever made comes up. RPG means fucking nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So every game is an RPG.
Yeah. One thing I think is really interesting when asked about, how big is your world? Because if you're an open world game, the size of it is important. But they diffuse that answer really nicely by saying we're not thinking about it in terms of scale and size. We're thinking about it and how like epic it feels. And that sounds really cool to me because they want, when you're traveling from A to B, for it not to just be marching across the land or slogging it. Because Red Dead, they want you to feel slower. They want you to feel like it's a journey. With Ghost of Tsushima, it seems like they want you to feel like it's this massive cinematic crescendo of things going on, and the art style really seems to inform that. Like there's a bit in the trailer where he's got this one-on-one duel where there's like this tree with the blossom coming down. It's all these really interesting colors and gorgeous lighting, and it looks really artistic and interesting. It just looks so cool.
It does look awesome. The most notable part and the thing that got me most interested is no UI, right? Of the gameplay that we've seen anyway, how much of that will actually translate to the final game as we can see it, I don't know, but it looks fantastic. By all accounts, they've traveled to Tsushima in order to
they visited it
to plan out how it looks, and they've tried their very best to recreate the time period and the place where it's set.
So Tsushima is an island off Japan, and the game setting is the height of one of the, I think it's the Mongol invasions, and you're this guy, I think you're called Jin something. And
Gin and tonic?
Nice.
No.
I hate gin. It's horrible. Give me a whiskey. Yeah, so you're this guy, and you've got to like reclaim the land, but you're not a samurai. You're kind of like an outcast, or like a ronin or something, and you have to learn the way of the ghost, which is essentially like ninja-esque tactics. So using more deceptive methods, because samurai, they're very honorable, face to face with your foe, eye contact, and they will kill you honorably. And the ghosts won't. They will
sneak up on you, slit your throat.
Yeah, exactly. Like proper ninja, Batman-y, poof of smoke, take him out, poof, and you're gone.
Yeah.
But it just seems like historical action game set in Japan, katanas and samurais and nonsense. Sounds awesome, and it seems like the Assassin's Creed game that Ubisoft don't want to make. I've been wanting them to do an Assassin's Creed in feudal Japan for years, but they don't seem to want to do it, and this looks exactly like that, because there's some parkour-y, climbing-y things, like platforming and climb up stuff, get the drop on people. That looks brilliant. It's exactly what I want.
The setting itself is the main attractor, as well as how it looks and how it feels.
Yeah.
It's a day one for me, that's for sure. It's definitely one of the most anticipated ones.
But again, we don't have a proper release date.
No proper release date, so hopefully it's coming next year. Oh, then again, there's so many games coming next year that it can be pushed back.
Yeah, I'll wait a little bit, I suppose.
This video is an extract from our weekly podcast over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. If you enjoyed this video, you can go and listen to the whole podcast over at, like I just said, patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.